Hello everybody and welcome back to the Yooka-Laylee countdown. So it has been 24 hours now since the Kickstarter went up. Just 24 hours. And what's happened in 24 hours? 1.2 million. So within 24 hours of this Kickstarter launching, every stretch goal, because there's the 1.2 million, every single stretch goal, including the new ones that got added, have already been completely shattered, completely gone. So they're going to have to add some new stretch goals. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is I contacted them. As you can see, there's a contact button there. It's on my laptop because I forgot to log in on this Kickstarter, but it's on my laptop, and I was talking to Stephen about online because one of their goals, if we go back down to their stretch goals here, was local co-op. I brought this up in the first part of this, which I'll leave to a link in the description below, but where is it? There, a local co-op at 535, a local co-op buddy mode, so you can play through the game with two players. And I messaged him saying, look, why don't you have online? And rather than just reading off his note, he was very nice about it. I brung up a paint here to show you why online co-op is actually so hard, and this is why things like Spelunky and Isaac also don't have online co-op, because with a big game like Call of Duty is a server. So Call of Duty is a server, and basically every one of your computers logs in to one big server. So you all log in and you can all play together on one big server like so. But for an online co-op game like Yooka-Laylee, Spelunky or Isaac, you don't have a specific server for the game to run on, because basically you're making a friend join your game. And he actually gave me an example of, hilariously, of which I own the game that he gave me the example of, which was Ratchet and Clank All for One, which had the same like online co-op thing, and oh god, it was so bad because online co-op runs through a special router. So this is their special router, or this, for example, would be their special router, and then here is you as the host. So you're the host, and we're going to make a router here for you, and this is your router, and then you have your friend. So here is your friend. Yeah, that says friend. But when you want to make an online game, you send a message to the special router to say, I want to set up a game. It then sends the message to your console, or your friend's console, that says, this guy, your friend, has created a game. You accept. That accept signal then goes back into their special router, and then goes back to the host, where you're now in the host's game, and the host basically hosts the game via his router. Now that doesn't seem too bad, but just say there was another guy and his friend wanting to join at the same time. The host sends a signal into the router and to the friend, and then the friend sends the signal back, and then there's another person joining, friend and host. He sends a signal at the same time in and to a friend, and then friend back. And then another person joins, and then you can see where this is starting to go wrong here, because a router doesn't have that much processing power, because it's sending it to a friend, to the host, to a host, to a friend, and right now we've got quite a clusterfuck all going into this router right here, and it can't handle that many requests all at once, and that's why Ratchet and Clank All for One's online co-op was complete garbage, because I was playing with, everybody was like excited for Ratchet and Clank All for One. And me and Hippie and Crimson, so many people were like, oh, I'll set up a server, then you can all join. So I set it up, and then everybody joined, and we were all kicked out within like 5 minutes. So there was that much delay, there was that much lag, and it just fell apart. It was a mess, and that's why nobody even talks about Ratchet and Clank All for One anymore, because its biggest feature of online co-op was destroyed by the fact that you could only stay online for about 5 minutes. And now, thanks to Mr. Steven, I found out why, because it's not a server where everybody connects to play multiplayer, because you only want two people playing at the same time, which is you and your friend. So it's basically just a signal that would go through one like specialized router, and then the signal gets sent back. But because so many people will be playing all at once, a router wouldn't be able to handle that much signal, and that's why things like Spelunky, everybody's like, why is Spelunky not online? Why is Isaac not online? It should be online co-op rather than local co-op. Well, there is your reason now. The reason why it's not online is not because it's hard to program. It's actually quite easy to program a signal being sent from the host to the friend and from the friend to the host. It's just the fact that you need a router, a very special router to send those signals, and the amount of people that would be playing it, you'd get so much delay. I mean, he did say that it is possible to rectify this problem, but the router itself would cost a lot of money. And he would think, or the Yooka-Laylee Playtronic team would think about making it online co-op, but it's probably going to be like a 1.5 million, possibly even a 2 million stretch goal, because like it'd be very expensive to even think about doing on like full online rather than local co-op. So there you go. That is your lesson about local co-op. If you ever download Spelunky or Isaac Rebirth and you're like, why is it not online co-op? Why is it only local co-op? Now you know. It's not that easy to do online co-op. So maybe if we get this to 2 million, we might get online, but it's not looking very likely. He said it's not going to be very likely there'll be online co-op, but it might, so it's not completely out of the question. But yeah, so there you go. 24 hours. In just 24 hours of it being up, it's already smashed all of its stretch goals, and Stephen very nicely contacted me back and said this is why online is very hard to do and why it's probably going to be local only, but we won't discount it if we do get like quite a lot of money, like maybe 2 million in the stretch goals. So it's not discounted, but it is very unlikely that it's going to be online, because online is just very hard to set up, and like Ratchet and Clank All for One, it can very easily fail. So there you go. Thank you all for watching this second installment of the Yooka-Laylee updates. I will be back, because that was the only thing I wanted to share with you, is me noting or me contacting Playtronic and asking about full online, and they said this is why it's not possible. So I will now be back in 44 days' time, where we will see what the grand total aimed, or what the grand total finally came at when it's all said and done. And maybe if the actual online thing comes up, like in these stretch goals, if they add the 2 million stretch goal of online, I'll update that. But for now, because they haven't got any extra stretch goals, I'll just say I'll see you in 44 days, where we'll see what the grand total of this thing finally ended up at. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one.